Hey, roommate, guess what? We're doing a biology project on viruses right now, and I chose to do the Ebola virus. We have to study the structure and how it infects cells and how it replicates and all of this really cool stuff. That's cool, I guess, but why should I care about Ebola virus? I mean, didn't that epidemic already end? Well, technically you're right. The Ebola epidemic did already end. However, Ebola is still around, and there are many viruses that are similar in structure and symptoms to Ebola. I personally think it would be interesting to learn more about these viruses and to learn why they are as deadly as they are. I think it can help our understanding of viruses in general and maybe how to treat viruses that are as deadly or similar in structure to Ebola in the future. I also personally think that Ebola is a very unique virus. Its structure and its symptoms that it causes in people are different than other viruses, and it's much more deadly than your average virus, such as the flu or the coronavirus. It's not nearly as deadly as those, and I wanted to study what makes a virus as deadly as the coronavirus was, and what causes it to have these symptoms. Is it's easier to get into cells, or is it the way that it interacts with your immune system? I think learning more about this would be really interesting. Okay, well, that sounds interesting, but what does Ebola virus's structure look like? Is it like a normal cell with the mitochondria, which is the powerhouse of the cell? Well, it's funny you should mention that because Ebola virus and viruses in general are not like normal cells. They've got a few unique differences, but there are also some similarities. One of the biggest differences is that viruses cannot replicate on their own. Viruses require the cell's functions and organelles to be able to replicate, which is why they need to infect cells and infect host organisms to be able to reproduce. Ebola virus kind of looks like a snake. It's like a long, like snake-like structure that's filled with RNA. And at the top of it is RNA polymerase, which helps transcribe the RNA that's contained inside the virus into mRNA, which can be translated by your body's ribosomes into proteins. These proteins are what actually encase the RNA. And this protein structure with the RNA inside is what comprises the entire virus. On the outside of this structure, you have glycoproteins, which actually interact with your cell's membrane and what allow the virus to get into your cells by merging with your cell's membrane and kind of opening it up and entering inside. The structure of Ebola is so unique because most viruses are in like a circular shape and they have glycoproteins all the way around. Influenza is shaped like this, or the COVID virus. You've probably seen a picture of the COVID virus where it's like a little circle. That's easily identifiable, but Ebola virus is unique in the fact that it's shaped almost like a worm. It almost doesn't look like a virus at all. It looks like a parasite. I thought that was pretty unique, and maybe this allows it to contain more RNA, or maybe this allows the RNA to be transcribed faster because it's all one long winding strand. That's kind of something unique about Ebola virus that I thought was really interesting.